I have been asked a couple of times on my comment section on some of my videos of what is this mouse and what is this keyboard. Today we're about to find out. I guess this is just a short follow-up video just to share with you what are the peripherals that I use for my desk setup. And one of the really vibe that I'm going for is something nostalgic, retro. I really love this kind of vibe. And this is one of the few purchases that I've done just to achieve a little bit of retro old school vibe. Let's get started. This is my vintage retro looking mouse. Now this is from Lofree. The model is the Lofree Touch PBT in a color block. There is another color called Tofu, and between these two, I'm just vibing with this grayish cream color with a hint of orange button right here. I feel like this is gonna have a pop of color among these really toned down colors. I just love the vintage look of it. I mean, you can tell that this kind of orange tone is giving that really retro oldish vibe, and come along with this kind of grayish keycap and with the cream body, it really like an old mouse that you can get from like your school or like those wired mouse as well. I just love this kind of vibe. As for the clickiness of it, you just judge for yourself. You can tell it is very clicky. It really gives off that retro clickiness from the old mouse that we've used back in the day. That is the sound of it. So I did use this at the office for a while, and for sure somebody, at least one or two or three people in your team or anyone that just walked past your table, they'll just ask you, what mouse is this? They look so fascinated by this old looking mouse. I have to say, the use of this mouse personally is really not for the features, it's for the retro old school feels. I think my go-to mouse is still this really old Logitech Anywhere 2S. This is still the best productivity mouse for me. However, for this, it's just really for the vibe of it. The pros of this mouse, it has a tiny screen for an easy view of your battery life, DPI, and connection mode. So another thing that is really cool about this is that you could also adjust the different DPIs that is available on this mouse. Just like that. And one thing that is so unique about this mouse that I've never seen in any other mouse before is that these two buttons right here, and also the body, you can swap them. Colorful design type of keycaps that they sell in Lofree website. It is really kind of cool to have that kind of customization with your own mouse. It also has a tri-mode connectivity, so you have the Bluetooth, you have the cable, and also you can also have the USB dongle right here. I would have to say that my hand, it is pretty tiny. I think this mouse is just right for my hand, like so. It's easier to get a full grip of your mouse and when you're moving around. Also, the arc of the body is just nice for my palm to rest. It doesn't feel like there's a huge gap in between. You can definitely rest your hand just like this, and it's super convenient. Now the battery wise, this is chargeable by Type-C, and it can last you for a while till you charge it again. I mean, that is based on my own personal experience. Of course, it depends on how much you use your mouse every day. Now the disadvantages. This thing works really well with Windows. Unfortunately for me, I use Mac as my main OS, and for some reason, I don't know why the left and right doesn't work on Mac. Maybe I didn't really research enough how to figure that one out, but it just bugs me sometimes for like page back or like page forward, but it just works better on Windows, I believe, when I try to use it on my work laptop. One thing that bugs me a lot is that this mouse goes to sleep pretty fast. If I'm inactive for a few minutes, let's say 5 minutes, this thing, you will not be able to move it. The cursor on your screen will not move. Even if you move your mouse like this, it will only move once you click and then it will stop moving again. So it has that sleep-wake function that kind of annoys me sometimes. So I have to like... Also, it is a little expensive for this kind of retro looking mouse. I know we are paying for, you know, the aesthetic of it, but in terms of features and the amount they're paying for this, I still think like getting a next version of this model is more worth it than getting this mouse. That is, if you're not into aesthetic retro vibe kind of mouse. Because I paid 70 Singapore dollars for this from an online shop, and from the Lofree website, it's currently selling 79.99 USD, roughly around 103 Singaporean dollars. And that is crazy expensive. With the 70 to 90 dollars range, you can definitely buy like a better modern mouse like from Logitech that has a lot of features that is really more productive than getting this kind of mouse. But yet again, we are getting this mouse because of the old school retro vibe. It's either you're looking for productivity features or more of a retro looking mouse. So that decision is really up to you. As for me, well, you can tell I bought this mouse because of the retro vibe, and I'm not expecting it to perform super well with all sorts of features. I already think that this kind of screen is kind of cool. This kind of layout and different customizable to personalize your own mouse is really kind of cool as well. Despite of having a Mac OS with this mouse, I mean, you get what you paid for, I guess. I just want to have this retro feels. It is a chunker, it is heavy, but we will talk about that later on with the pros and cons. But as for now, let me just introduce you to the 8BitDo retro mechanical keyboard. This is the model C64 edition. They have a lot of editions or models with their mechanical keyboards. You can definitely check those out on their website. But as for this, the first time that I laid my eyes on this, I instantly fell in love with it. I've always loved retro old school vibe, and this just adds to my aesthetic with the mouse, just like so. And when I first unboxed it, I was a bit surprised how heavy it is. It is definitely plastic. You can really tell that it is plastic, but the build, the heftiness, the quality, personally I think it's really there. And also I'm pretty happy with this, especially for the price that I paid for it. This is not cheap. And give me 1 second. There are 2 extra accessories that this keyboard comes with, and one of them is the super dual buttons. It is this really cute retro looking buttons right here, and also this super joystick. It is kind of cool, isn't it? So basically these buttons right here, you can map them as well using the 8BitDo application. When I started using this, these 2 buttons, I believe one of them I saved it as a shortcut for a sleep button, so I don't have to press the shortcut buttons on the keyboard to put my laptop to sleep. So I just press and it will just go straight to sleep. So that is kind of a quick and really nice kind of shortcut to have. You can also do whatever shortcuts that you want with this. You can like explore around the 8BitDo application. Now this one, I've not really used it yet. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna use it for, but of course you can definitely use this as your controller when you play video games on your computer. You can definitely use like how you use WASD as your forward, left, right, backward. You can also map it in here, and you can use this as your main control when you're like walking around in your video game. So that's kind of cool as well. And they also have this connection that you have to connect at the back of your keyboard like this. Now the typing experience with this keyboard, just mind you, I'm not a keyboard connoisseur. I only enjoy the aesthetic of it, but if it matters, it has like an 87 layout with Kale box switch V2 white. That is according to online. As for the sound, it has a sharp and loud clicky sound. So you can tell that it is a pretty loud keyboard. I think it's best to use it at home. If you're working from home or like you have your own setup at home, it is perfect for a home use. I will not be recommending this for office or public space. It can be really distracting. Also, it is hot swappable, so you can change like the switches on this in the future. If you could tell, like those really classic keyboards, like those IBM, those really thick, chunky keyboards, it really gives you that kind of vibe. Now the advantages. It is a very beautiful, retro-looking, old-school keyboard vibe. It is a very unique addition to your desk setup, if I'm being honest. And I just love the contrasting color with my pink table mat and with this brown, light brown, retro-looking keycaps. I think it's just really cool. Also, with this as a partner, yeah, I want that vibe. Same thing with the mouse. It also has a tri-mode connectivity. They have the Bluetooth on the left side, and they also have the 2.4 dongle, and their dongle is really cute. It's right at the back right here. It's also magnetic. It's like a brick. It's kind of cute. And yeah, they have the Type-C cable provided as well inside the box. So that is the main connectivity you can have with this device. What is unique about this is, besides from this retro looking keyboard, also there are extra accessories that it comes with, which makes your entire experience completely different from any other keyboard. Now, disadvantages. I have to say, this mechanical keyboard, or any mechanical keyboard for that matter, I just found it really expensive. I'm not really into mechanical keyboard kind of thing, but it is expensive. I spent about 139 Singaporean dollars for this. And when I checked out the 8BitDo just yesterday, it's running around 89.99 USD. Clearly, again, I am paying for the hefty price of this retro looking keyboard. Yeah, I guess also, like, you know, the additional accessories that it comes with. I think they're really targeting a certain crowd for this kind of keyboards. And another thing that really troubles me is that because I'm using Mac OS, this kind of keyboard is a little bit troublesome when it connects with Mac OS computers. It's something that I have to get used to because of like the multitasking buttons that I have to press. Instead of like this, I have to press like the Windows button with the tab, and I'm so used to doing this because, you know, it's like a Windows kind of layout. So when it comes to Mac, you have to press really differently, and there is no Mac related prints on the keycaps. Like for example, my Logitech keyboard, there is this Windows and also Mac type of print on the keycap, and you will not find it in here. Another thing, this is heavy. I do love to eat on my table, so normally I would remove my mat, remove my keyboard, remove my mouse, put my food, and I'm just gonna eat while watch my shows. It's so chunky and heavy, and putting it back and taking it out, put it back every single day, you could really notice the weight of this. This thing is heavy. It's 1050 grams, and the dual keyboards, or like the Super Stick, is 270 and 150 respectively. Like I'm telling you, this thing is really heavy, and compatibility is mainly for Windows and Android. So Mac OS is really a bit of a struggle to use, but you can still definitely use it. It's just you have to get used to how you press your buttons when you use it on the Mac OS. I think personally, one of the biggest cons that I've not really fully used this at its full potential, because there are some limitations that I have, especially with the Mac OS, and I've not really used any of these accessories at all, and I barely use it with my work laptop nowadays as well. But yeah, I guess that's just one of the disadvantages as well. But would you get this kind of keyboard? I mean, who do you think this keyboard is really for? Maybe if you're into retro old school style, then yes, you can definitely look at this retro style fields. Maybe if you're into beginner mechanical keyboard, I think I'm one of them, so it is also perfect as well. I think if you're into gaming to your computer, then I think this is going to be a really cool addition to your setup. If you're a writer or a typist and you love the aesthetic, you love the clickiness of the mouse as well, there you go. It is simply for someone that want something different compared to any of our modern, more futuristic peripherals nowadays. I think this is gonna be a good addition to your desk setup. After using this keyboard and mouse for a while, maybe more than a year since I got this, and honestly I've only used this for the nostalgic vibe, not much of the whatever features that it gives us. Like I've said, I've not really used accessories for the keyboard. I've only used the simplest way of how you use the mouse as well, so I paid a hefty price just to have this kind of really retro vibe. And I think for the most people nowadays, I think that is why we're paying this kind of prices for this kind of looking peripherals. It is giving you an oldish design, which is completely different from any of the modern keyboards or mouse that we have nowadays. Definitely not the most minimal looking or clean looking desk setup I have right now, but I think this is one of the most fun desk setup that I've had so far. What do you guys think? Would you get this kind of keyboard and mouse on your desk, or do you think it's just ridiculously too expensive to purchase this kind of keyboard and mouse? Let me know what you guys think. If you guys want to read more, definitely check out my Substack in the description. I wrote a post about it. In the meantime, I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye!